What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Tight Lines podcast, and welcome to our end of the year for our first year as a podcast. So we have now completed 2025 as a podcast. So really cool for us, getting ready to go into kind of sort of year two, even though we're not at 52 episodes, obviously, but getting into year two. So really cool. So I decided that for this episode and for all my New Year's episodes moving forward, at least for the time being, I'm going to find a way to do some sort of a special episode. So this year, I'm going to give you my top five favorite fishing memories from 2025, and then also I'm going to set five goals for the upcoming 2026 fishing season. These goals can be anything related to my fishing, but I want them to obviously be tangible. So find ways so we can check boxes and really accomplish some goals. So I'm super excited to work towards them and hopefully accomplish all of them. So before this crystal ball drops, let's get to it. So we're going to start with my top five favorite fishing moments of the year. Just a heads up, they're not in any particular order. They're just kind of how I thought of them. So it might be in order. But overall, these are kind of when I look back and I think, man, what were some really fun moments this year? Just here's kind of where we're at. So my first favorite fishing memory from 2025 is actually about a 6 week span of fishing for me. So in about a 6 week span, I broke my PB bass three different times. The first one of them was breaking 4 pounds. Finally, I'd never broken 4 pounds. My PB had sat at about 3.7 pounds for a while. And we were down on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina this year. And I broke my PB and broke 4 pounds also while being chased by an alligator. Caught that fish on a red and black chatterbait. It's a 3/8 ounce. Had a Big Bite Baits black and red flake beaver tail on the back. Really awesome catch. If you actually want to see me catch that fish, go ahead and hop on my YouTube. It's under video titled "I Broke My Largemouth PB in South Carolina." I went for a super clickbaity title, super clickbaity like thumbnail as well. So it looks really bad, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. It was a fun video to put together and just kind of me going out and having fun and just trying to catch some fish. That lure, along with the next two we're going to talk about, all hung up on my wall. I think I told you guys about how I put a lure leaderboard in my house, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I broke that PB, and then a few weeks later, I come back to, we're back in Indiana, and I'm up fishing one of our ponds, and I decided I'm just going to go out and fish topwater for the evening. I hadn't done a lot of topwater fishing at this point in the summer. I've been sitting, low and slow a lot, and I was like, it's kind of that kind of night. It feels like topwater's on. So I went out with my topwater box and my topwater, combo, and I'm fishing. I'm throwing frogs and throwing poppers and throwing whopper ploppers, and I'm just not getting looked at one bit. I'm like, okay. So I go ahead and I tie on a spook. So I love throwing a spook. Walking a spook's a ton of fun. And I am like almost done fishing tonight. It is getting really dark. I'm really getting overfishing. I've been out for a couple hours at this rate. And I'm like, there's one last little corner of these ponds. There's three ponds in my neighborhood that I like to fish quite a bit. I'm on the last pond. I'm like, there's one last little corner I haven't fished yet, and there's normally some okay fish over here. Let's just go try it for 10 minutes. So I'm throwing, it's a Yo-Zuri 3DB, which is like their like 3D one that they do. It's really cool bait. It's like translucent with a green top, and I'm throwing that, and I'm walking it and I'm walking it, and all of a sudden on like the second or third cast, this fish just absolutely blows up. When I say blows up, like jumps straight up out of the water at this lure, and it misses. It misses with its mouth, but I watch it like it's one of those moments where everything just kind of slows down for you, if you know what I'm talking about. When something really cool's happening, everything just slows down. And I watch this fish like fin kick it up into the air. So I watch my lure go about a foot or two in the air. We're like, oh my god, there's my lure. And I watch it hit the water again. The fish goes back underwater. And my immediate thought is, one, I really hope I didn't get tangled up there because I'm about to hopefully catch this fish. And two, I need to see if I can get this. I need to get this spook back working so I can catch this fish because this fish wants this bait. So I give it like three more pops and walk it, and this fish comes back freaking out after it and just obliterates it, you guys. I mean, absolutely hammers it. I worked it in, and I'm up fishing. I literally have a box I have a box sitting on the ground. I don't even have a bag with me. I got pliers in my pocket, and I have my pole. And I get this fish in, and I'm like, guys, this is a PB. I'm like, this is my PB. But I have no way to tell you this. I don't have my scale with me. I got nothing. So I call Olivia. I'm like, Olivia, you have to get up here. And so I'm like, you need to get my scale. Here's where it's at. She goes and grabs the scale, hops in her car, and races up to the front of the neighborhood. And I've had this fish out of water for probably a minute and a half at this point. I'm trying to get a weight on this fish. And I run it from the pond. I just drop my combo and leave all my stuff where it's at. Sprint over to the road. I weigh the fish. Comes in at like 4 pounds, 8 1/8 ounce, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I just broke 4.5 pounds. I get a really quick couple pictures with it with Olivia real quick. And I run it back, put it in the water, revive it for about 2 or 3 minutes, get it rolling, and it swims off just fine. And it seemed to do good. I never saw that fish dead. I feel like I've seen it swimming since then. So pretty happy. I think I caught that fish a couple weeks later when it was a little bit lighter in weight. So overall, I think the fish was healthy and got off fine. And then like 2 weeks after that, okay, so this is where we're getting to the 6-week mark. I'm up fishing in northern Indiana. We'd just gone to a concert in Michigan. We're coming back and fishing with a buddy, and you can see this video too. It's called "I Broke My PB Again." So I broke my PB a third time in late August on a pond on a massive whopper plopper. So I had we've reviewed on the show. It's the Black Chaos Shad from Bass Pro Shops from XPS, and it's like a 120 millimeter size. It's like 1 5/8 ounce, just absolutely humongous, just obnoxious all black whopper plopper. And we get out there, we'd fished the day before, and I caught some like 2 and 3 pounders on. I'm like, okay, so fish are biting this, which is good, because I had literally just bought it the day before up in Michigan. So okay, like let's so we get out the next morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning. There's fog or steam rolling off the pond. It looks like top water. Throw it out, nothing. Throw it out a second time. Reel it about 10 or 12 times, and just bang, just absolutely obliterated. I work this fish in. I get up on the bank. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's a giant. Again, if you want to see it, you can. So there's a video on there. It's really easy to find. You can see me holding the fish out. Get up on the bank, walk it up onto the, further away so I can unhook it and get a weight on it. And that one was 4 pounds, 8 7/8 ounces. So by 6/8 of an ounce, or 3/4 of an ounce, I beat my previous PB again. So still over 4.5 pounds. I'm pretty sure the day before I had about a 5 or 5.5 pounder on that broke me off right at the bank. I was fishing a wacky rig just for fun. I mean, guys, the day before we had caught me and my buddy that were out fishing, we'd caught 140 pounds of fish in 3 hours, just absolutely just working them. And again, this is a private stocked pond. Trust me, I get it, but I still think it counts because I don't have access to this pond all the time, and so yeah. But so I swear the day before I had an over 5 or 5.5 pounder on my spinning rod, and it broke off right as we got to it. But we'll never know. So for now, my PB is 4 pounds, 8 7/8 ounces. And again, got to break my PB 3 times in about 6 weeks. And since then, I've barely seen a fish over 3 pounds. So I think I used up all my big fish luck for a bit. So that was my first favorite memory from this year, was breaking my PB 3 times in about a 6-week span. My second favorite memory was catching my first gar completely on accident. So I was out back home in St. Louis this summer, and I was out seeing my family, and I got a buddy that lives out there, and he and I like to fish, and so he's like, hey, you got some time this evening, you want to go fish? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I've got some ultralight with me. He goes, that's fine. He's got stuff. We're gonna go try and carp fish. There's a place he's been wanting to carp fish. We're gonna go try it out. So we're out there, and we're sitting there, and there's just nothing going on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just whip a jig head out on. I got a little 1/8 or 1/4 ounce jig head with literally absolutely no trailer. I may have put corn on it at one point, just seeing if a carp would bite it, because I've got this 5.6 ultralight rod, 4 pound mono. I mean, just nothing. And so I throw it out, and I'm throwing it, and I got nothing. I'm throwing it because the water's shallow enough you can see where the carp are. So I'm just kind of throwing it at the carp, seeing if they'll bite at it. Not getting anything, so I'm reeling it in, and all of a sudden there's pressure on my line. I'm like, what? So I just reel, and all of a sudden out comes a gar. And it was this little, just short-nosed gar, probably about, I would say 2.5 foot long, 3 foot long. Buddy just bit it, and what's funny is he wasn't even hooked. We figured that out because he comes on shore and opens his mouth, and the hook just falls right out. So dude just got to bit onto the jig with nothing on it, and just let me pull him in. And it goes to show that, as they always say, gar is stupid. But caught my first gar. It was funny trying to hold the fish because you have to grab it from behind. You don't want to get bit, obviously. So I grab it, I hold it up, and it wiggles out of my hand. It goes flying through the air and lands back in the mud. Or I pick it up again. I'm just grabbing as hard as I can, trying to hold it out. My buddy's taking a picture. It was really funny. But yeah, so you can, I think I have that picture out somewhere. It's definitely in on my YouTube logo. You can see me holding the gar in there. And I'll probably post it at some point on my Instagram. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, that was my second favorite memory, was catching my first gar completely on accident. Didn't even know there were gar in there. My buddy had no clue. He goes, "Oh, there's gar in here." I was like, "I guess so. There's gar in here now." So that was fun. My third favorite memory was almost catching a catfish on a spinnerbait. So there is a whole video on it. You can see it's from like March. I was down in Lawrenceburg with another buddy. We were fishing just ponds and lakes in his neighborhood. He's got a big lake and then a ton of ponds around the neighborhood, so we were gonna fish. And it's like we go to the first pond. I got my loose 7 foot medium heavy fast spinning rod with, I think at the time I had 10 pound mono on it. I don't think I had braid on it yet. I hadn't switched to braid. I have braid on it now, but I had mono on it at the time, and I had a little spinner bait, and I was throwing this like 3/8 ounce spinner bait, mostly because I only had one bait caster with me at the time, and didn't feel like cutting off what I had on there. So I'm just throwing it, and I cast out, and I'm fishing. All of a sudden, guys, my rod just doubles, and my drag just peeling drag like you guys wouldn't believe. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I just got obliterated, like just got hammered by a fish. So I worked this fish for probably a minute and a half, get him to the shore. Whereas I'm getting up, I'm like, bro, this thing's like big. Like, did I catch a turtle? Like, what is on? Like, this doesn't seem like it's a bass. Like, it's fighting weird for a bass. And all of a sudden, you can see the fish kind of break the surface. And, oh my god, I have a catfish on. So we're standing on. You can see in the video an extremely, like, probably a 45-degree bank. Got no lip grippers, no net. I have a very underpowered rod and line, and probably a 14 to 16 pound catfish on the end of my line. I mean, I'm like, bro, what do I do here? I had never been catfishing before. I had no idea what to do. I was completely lost, and so I just kind of gave my buddy the rod, and I was like, here. I told him to go down and grab it, and he didn't want to grab the fish, so I gave him the rod, and I walked down, and this fish starts swimming away. I'm trying to have my buddy like pull back to shore, and he's not, he's struggling with it a little bit. It's a big fish. We're underpowered. Fish still peeling a little bit of drag, and so I go and I make the rookie mistake, and yeah, I grab my line. Heat of the moment, grabbed my line, heard the pop, immediately reached down, tried to grab the fish, and the fish just slipped down and swam away. Took my spinnerbait with it, but yeah, so I pretty much kind of sort of caught it. I mean, I'm going to claim that I kind of caught it. I don't think I fully did, but I did touch the fish, so I feel like that kind of counts. He touched the fish. If I had some sort of lip grippers or a net or anything right there, probably would have done better. Moving forward, obviously, just need to grab it by the mouth and pull it in. Who cares if it bites down on me? Hopefully I don't get in their crush plate. So, yeah, caught a catfish on a spinnerbait. That was a ton of fun. Absolutely peeled my drag off like nothing I'd ever felt before in my life. Maybe I was so underpowered, and it was really, really fun. Again, if you guys want to see that video, that's also on my YouTube. I don't even know what that one's called, but it's from like March or April. So really fun video. Fourth favorite memory was the catfish guide trip that I took with Ryan Casey this year. I went with my two buddies out. We were in Washington, Missouri, and went out there and did a catfish guide trip, which was a ton of fun. This guy's name is Ryan Casey, which I think it's Show Me Catfishing is his company that he works for. We were out on the Missouri River, caught probably 6 or 7 fish throughout the whole day. Nothing too big. My buddy caught like an 18-pounder, which was fun. But I caught what I consider my first catfish that day, which was cool. So really, really cool there. Like I said, caught some fish, had a ton of fun though. Almost fell in the water going after my first fish, which is also on video. It's hilarious. Learned about, side imaging and all the graphs that he uses and how he kind of sets up and his thoughts on fishing. And Ryan Case was really cool. We were doing okay, but weren't super hot on the first 6 hours. We booked a 6-hour trip. Weren't doing so hot. He kept us out like 2.5 extra hours. I mean, dude was awesome. First mate was really cool. I wish I could remember his name, but it was a ton of fun. Sat out there, taught fish with my buddies for 8.5 hours, and just really enjoyed a good day. So that was my fourth favorite memory again, catfishing guide trip with Ryan Casey this year. My final favorite memory from this year was catching my first sauger, either sauger or sawguy or walleye. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the three. I was up with a different buddy. Apparently got a lot of buddies now all of a sudden. But it's the same buddy that we were up fishing in northern Indiana in like March. Maybe might have even been February. I mean, it was real early. It was real cold. And I got up there and we went out and we fished the evening I got up there. Went to a dam in Goshen, Indiana, and I had my 7 foot combo with me, stone a coal shad, and we were just underneath this dam, just throwing out there, seeing what would bite. We were kind of going for smallmouth, honestly. Um, all of a sudden, I felt pressure and reeled it in, and out comes a fish I'd never seen before. I was like, "Oh my god, what is this?" And my buddy's like, "Looks like a," and he's like, "It's either some sort of walleye or sawguy or sauger or something. It's some sort of that kind of fish, right?" And so took some measurements, took some weights. It was just under a 2 pound fish, if I remember right. Really cool catch. Again, checked another species off my list that I never caught before. Just not sure which one of the three, but it was somewhere in there. So really fun catch. Again, just it was one of those unexpected catches, which was fun. Just like that's what I've noticed. It's when you don't expect the catch, when it's something a little bit abnormal. That's when it's really fun. It's because it's so different. It's you get to just experience something that you weren't expecting to experience. So those are my 5 favorite memories from the 2025 fishing season. Again, the first one was breaking my PB 3 times in 6 weeks, catching a gar on accident, almost catching a catfish on spinnerbait and under powered spinning gear, the catfish guide trips I went on with Ryan Casey out in Washington, Missouri, and catching my first sauger, sawguy, walleye, whichever one of the three it was. So now we're going to move on to my five goals for this fishing season. Again, these goals are all going to be measurable, meaning that there's some sort of quantifiable number that lets me know if I reach my goal. So I can say, I'm not just going to say I want to catch a lot of fish. Well, what's a lot of fish? Is that 50? Is it 2,000? Is it 110? You know what I mean? So we're not doing crap like that. We're going to actually set real goals, and something that we can go out and break. So my first goal is going to be pretty obvious. And it's not only going to be break my PB, but I want to break the 5 pound mark on a bass. I've incrementally moved up in my PB this past year. I broke the 3 pound mark in 2024 for the first time, which was cool. Broke the 4 pound mark in 2025. Looking to break the 5 pound mark in 2026. Being in Indiana, that's kind of tough. Obviously, fish. It's hard to find fish to get that big around here. So I'm putting in a lot of work on the river. Go find some new spots to fish in that I haven't fished before. Learn new techniques. But really put in some time and effort this year to break that 5 pound mark. Also, I have a week back down South Carolina this year to take a shot at it. So I'm going to definitely be prepared for that and really make the most out of my time down there fishing in South Carolina, because I would love to get on a big fish down there again as well. So my second goal this year is going to be to catch a new species. So when I'm thinking of new species, things I think about are different types of catfish, rock bass, we'll get to that. I lied to you guys. I got ahead of myself. So far, the only catfish I've caught so far is a couple small channels. I think the one that I caught in the pond that I was telling you guys about a couple minutes ago was also a channel cat. Again, didn't get out of the water enough to tell you. So looking for maybe like a blue cat or a yellow belly. Just trying to see what kind of catfish we could pull out. Also, again, going back to South Carolina, seeing if maybe we can hop into a saltwater species, if we do a little saltwater fishing. See if we can go, my buddy and I are looking at going snagging for spoonbill again, when and where it's legal. We're not doing this illegally. Illinois has a spoonbill snagging season, so hopefully maybe get on a spoonbill, which would be a ton of fun. Hopefully get myself on a new species. There might be a shot at some redfish down in South Carolina. But this year, a couple new species I know I got this year was channel cats. I got a rock bass, again, a sauger, or sawguy, or a walleye, whichever one of the three I caught. A smallmouth and a short-nosed gar. So I got 5 new species this year, which is really cool, and I definitely want to add at least one more to my list next year. Funny enough, I've actually never gone crappie fishing, so maybe I'll go fish for some crappie, see if I can pull one of them in. So the third goal that I've got for myself is to catch a fish from the White River, and I'll tell you guys what. I know it sounds simple, I know it sounds kind of stupid. You're like, well, dude, isn't that pretty easy? You'd be surprised, especially, as a bank fisherman. Someone who doesn't have access to a boat or a kayak, is a bank fisherman who's not from here, who didn't grow up fishing the river, who doesn't really know what he's doing on the river. Not a lot of river fishing experience in my life. In a very pressured, overfished waterway, where a lot of spots along it are pretty dangerous, so you don't want to go to them, especially by yourself. It's really hard to actually catch fish out of the White River. I probably spent 70 hours, 80 hours this year on the White River trying to catch fish, and I I don't think I got nibbled, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think I ever got nibbled by. I maybe got one nibble by a fish, but it was not very often. So I don't really care what it is. If it's a smallmouth, if it's a catfish, if it's a carp, if it's a walleye, if it's a bluegill, whatever it might be. But I do want to finally beat that river. I want to pull a fish from the White River. I really want to be like, you know what? The White River has been conquered. Maybe that means we take a trip up, north out of Indianapolis and go hit the river up there where it's less pressured. Finding some spots up around like the Muncie area would be fun. But yeah, that's the next goal is wanting to knock off, get a fish out of the White River. My fourth goal for this year is I want to knock off another state to fish. So far in my life, I've fished Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Michigan, and South Carolina. Again, I just got into fishing real heavily about 2.5 years ago. So, 5 states already is pretty cool. Obviously, we have 4 of them that are all together. Ohio could be a really easy one to knock off this year, especially because I'm looking at going over to the Columbus Fishing Expo at some point, so maybe be able to knock out Ohio, maybe Tennessee as well at the very least, which would be cooler, Kentucky. But really wanting that to happen, I really would like to knock off another state. I want to go out and try and catch a fish there. It's just something fun to do. Hopefully by the end of my life, I've caught a fish in all 50 states. Obviously, that's going to require some travel and some work. But if I get one a year, hopefully, and it should, hopefully I live long enough that gets me there. So, trying to add 1 or 2 a year. But yes, I want to catch a fish in another state. My final goal this year is actually going to be in regards to my social media platforms for fishing. As of recording this episode, not when it comes out, but as of recording this episode, my YouTube is at 1,143 subscribers. My Instagram has 38 followers. My Spotify has 5 followers. So I want to continue to grow these platforms. Hopefully there's some really cool content for you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them. Growing these platforms allows me to put more effort into them. If I make a little money off these platforms, I can put that back into my fishing to make cooler videos for you guys at some point. So by the end of 2026, I like to be at least 2,500 YouTube subscribers, so doubling where I'm at now. At least 100 Instagram followers, so kind of doubling that. And really going to work hard, and I'd like to be at 100 wow, that was really bad. 100 Spotify followers. Currently at 5, so really got to work there, get the word out, but hopefully get some work over there. Again, if that means if you're listening right now, and you're not subscribed, you're not following any of those platforms, please go ahead and hit the follow or the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny, but it does help me out, can make me some money, and hopefully put some stuff back into the show for you guys. Again, I do all this out of my own budget, so really just wanting to grow those platforms and make them a little bit better. So again, we're going to go back to the five goals for the year, and then that'll be the episode. So the first goal is to break the 5-pound mark on a bass. Second goal is to catch a new species. Third goal is to catch a fish from the White River here in Indiana. Fourth goal is to knock off another state to fish in this year, so add another state. And then the fifth and final goal is to continue to grow my social media platforms. Again, 2,500 on YouTube, 100 on Instagram, and 100 on Spotify. So, all right, everybody, that is going to be this week's episode for you all. Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully you had a great 2025. Here's your great 2026. Some awesome fishing coming up for you guys. If you're listening to this on New Year's Eve, that means there's still time to enter the giveaway. If you don't have the giveaways, listen to last week's episode. There's a giveaway. It ends this evening at 7. You guys can also go over to my YouTube, and you can check out, I did a really cool video called, it's my favorite fish catches from 2025. Some of the fish, some of the memories I talked about from this year are going to be in that video. So definitely go ahead and check that out if you want to see those. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode, and if you have, please be sure to drop us a positive review on whatever podcast platform you tune in with, whether it's a written review, a 5-star review, a like, whatever it might be. We're currently on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Amazon Podcast. Also, please be sure to drop us a follow on my Instagram and subscribe on my YouTube, as I talked about. Both of them are titled Tyler Plackey Fishing. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, just hit that button. It's super simple. If you're on something else, run over to YouTube, type it in, hit sub. You're going to see some really cool stuff on there. Especially on my Instagram, I post a lot of stuff way before it happens anywhere else on my Instagram. So if you want to know what's coming, go ahead and check that out. You can also be there to, like I said, see what I've been up to, DM me suggestions for the show, ask questions to the tackle box, or honestly just talk with me about anything and everything. We'll talk fishing, we'll talk golf, whatever you want to talk. talk football. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk. So thank you guys so much for listening every week and dedicating your time to the show. I know there's a bajillion other shows to go out there and listen to, so if you're spending time listening to this one, it does mean a ton to me. I really do appreciate all of your support. It's what helps the show to continue to grow little by little. So thank you guys so much, and again, Happy New Year to all of you. And until next time, and until next year, tight lines, y'all.